Hi, hello, welcome back to PARANORMASIGHT, the Mermaid's Curse. We are back with... Shiki? What was her name? Yumeko Shiki. We finished off talking with Unka Kudono. It's time to continue the investigation. Oh look, you can see the little turtle island. It's so cute. So small. Yeah, so let's just get on with it. I got such a bad headache in the previous recording. I think it was just too much lore, you know? Just too much lore at once. But I'm ready. Let's go. Hey there, you two. Sorry for calling out here when you're so busy. I figured it'd be best to give you the rundown on our findings as soon as possible. It's no problem. Go ahead. Bam, bam, bam. Poster. What have we here? Oh, this. It's a poster advertising Kameshima. Something about it catch your eye? It's kinda cute. No, I was just thinking, surely it would be better to put it somewhere tourists will actually see it. Good point. Good point. Maybe they had some posters left over. Wait, we can do something more? Interested in Kameshima, are you? It's a nice place. Great tourist spot too. I recommend it. Okay. Surroundings. You know we gotta check the surroundings. This is one of Issei City's residential districts. Right now the ground is so hot the air around it seems to be shimmering. Any berbies? Any mocking berbies? I don't think so. Anything new with this? No. This has to, like, matter at some point, right? But then I'm curious, why did they just, like, enable it now? Because there doesn't seem like you can do much with it. Okay. About Yamashina. So, did you manage to meet up with Mr. Yamashina? Yep. Yes, thank you again for your help there. It seems he's willing to hand the body over without any fuss. Really? That's great. Still, why would some big-shot tycoon go to all that trouble to withhold the body? If everything I've heard is true, you could probably take him on charges of desecrating a corpse, you know? Yeah, I think we said the same thing to him. Or was there something special about that corpse? None of your business. How observant of you, detective. I can of course explain if you'd like to know more. Wait a second, is it related to that secret department of yours? I think I'm better off not knowing if so. Oh really? I don't mind bringing you into the fold. Ma'am, please stop trying to rope him into helping us. Oh, I love his facial expressions. What's his name? Soda. I'm really bad with names. I don't remember any names. I've never met the guy, but I hear he's quite the cranky old geezer. How'd your meeting go? How you'd expect it to go with an old geezer. I'll bet he was pretty wary of you being with the police, but he didn't try to pick a fight or anything, did he? Well, I'm not sure you could say it went smoothly, but I don't think we upset him at least. Probably. Ivan, don't sound very sure about that. Doesn't matter, he's a dick anyway. Alright, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. What, the sketch? So I got all hands on deck to go around asking about that sketch you gave me. And we finally found someone who recognized the victim. Ooh, that's great news. The person who recognized him was a housewife in her 20s who lived in Kumano 7 years ago. Housewife in 20s? Oh, that's a lifestyle. Apparently the sketch looks like a 19-year-old she knew who left the village to go to the city. Huh. So 7 years ago he was 19, no? From the sound of it, the guy had no relatives to speak of, left the village with nothing but the clothes on his back. She doesn't know what happened to him after that. I see. That would make him a young man with no relatives who left his hometown behind 7 years ago. Did we get a name for our mystery man? Sure did. His name was Kippei Ikoma. Okay. I looked him up in the residence registry and it does look like he moved from Kumano to Issei City 7 years ago. But it seems he doesn't live at the place he put as his address anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate. I checked in with the apartment's landlord and it would seem that about 6 years ago, The landlord had his contract terminated after he failed to both pay his rent and return to his apartment for several months straight. Well, he is dead. The landlord didn't put out a search request or anything, so that's where the trail ends, I'm afraid. If he went missing 6 years ago, I suppose it wouldn't surprise me if those were his remains. We'll keep looking into a coma to see if he was involved in anything that might have led to his murder. Of course, there's always the possibility we've got the wrong guy, so we'll keep asking around just in case. Please do. Okay. What did they add? Testimonies indicate the individual in the sketch resembles a youth by the name of Kipei Koma who went missing 6 years ago. He has no known relatives. The victims are believed to have been killed by a curse wielded by someone connected to the Heike. I guess I don't know how to pronounce it. About the portrait sketch. Again. The woman we spoke to said that sketch was really accurate. No doubt in her mind it was a coma. Well, that accurate. Then I'm sure we got the right person. He's so proud of himself. Still, how did you even make that sketch? There was nothing left of the victim but bones. Well, let's just say it's classified for now. Right. Guess that means I shouldn't pry any further. About Somekawa. Oh yeah, I also looked into that lady you were asking about, Somekawa. Yeah, she's the one that we found in this, like, mermaid/fish form. Oh yes, did you find anything? Well, it seems she hasn't registered as a resident even though she moved here 5 years ago. And nothing came up for Somekawa in the civil registry either. So I'm afraid I don't have anything on who she is or where she came from. Sorry to disappoint. I see. Is that quite common? Happens. It's not unheard of for folks from the countryside to come here for work and just drift on, with no one really knowing who they are. Apparently it was really common during the post-war growth period. It seems we have quite the mystery woman on our hands. Yep, though there's something I've been wondering about. Oh, let's hear it. What are you wondering? You have some idea how she might be? Well, have you heard of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster? It was a big maritime disaster that struck 5 years back. I have, yes. One of the victims of that disaster was an ama diver and housewife from Kamishima by the name of Mare Minakuchi. Yes. But it seems her maiden name was Somekawa. Called it? Kind of? At first, when we came upon this corpse, at first I thought it was Yuza's mom. So our mystery woman shares a surname with a maritime disaster victim. I'm impressed you managed to dig that up. Huh. That is a good lead. I was already looking into the Kamishima disaster because of the skeletal remains, so it was a happy coincidence if anything. Oh, so you thought they might be related too? I'm glad it wasn't just me. Anyway, it seems like the bodies of those disaster victims were never found in the end, which got me thinking. Oh, wait, are you saying? Yep. I was thinking Mare Minakuchi could have survived the disaster 5 years ago. No way. Maybe? Maybe yes way? And you think she then moved to Ijika and started going by her old name of Somekawa again? That's right. What do you think? Seems like a long shot, but maybe? But if that's the case, why would she have stayed in Ijika for 5 whole years without thinking to contact her family? Maybe she lost her memories in the disaster? Huh. Right. If she only had her old memories to rely on, it wouldn't be that odd if she went back to using her old name. True. But surely her appearance would still be the same though. It is difficult to imagine no one recognizing her for 5 whole years. It's possible she just never ran into anyone she knew. That kind of thing's more likely than you'd think. Yeah. I mean, lots of coincidences and assumptions right now, so it's possible. Kinda unlikely, but possible. Oh, speaking of appearances, I found a picture of Mare Minakuchi from a report on the disaster. I haven't met the Someka myself, so could you take a look for me and let me know what you think? I mean, I did say before that they look similar. That is the same fucking lady. Oh, this is interesting. What do you think so, though? If she'd aged 5 years and grown badly gaunt, I can certainly see how this woman might come to resemble Miss Somekawa. Definitely, the eyebrows are exactly the same, the eyes are exactly the same, the nose is exactly the same. My thoughts exactly. So you agree it's a pretty solid theory? It's certainly worth looking into, yes. But if she really is Mare Minakuchi, there's something else that concerns me. Something else? This is just what I've heard. But it seems like the islanders over on Kameshima think this Mare Minakuchi was the cause of the disaster 5 years ago. What? Why would they think that? No idea, but it seems like it's pretty much taken for granted by most of the folks over there. Even just mentioning her name is a sort of taboo. So I was thinking it wouldn't be that odd if she felt she couldn't go back home because of that. Surely not. I think she would still go back because of Yuza. Seems as good a reason as any why she wouldn't want to come forward anyway. If she really is related to the storm 5 years ago, she's a point of interest regardless of her connection to the skeletal remains. Perhaps it's worth looking into that first. Can I leave talking to Miss Someka to you two then? Gladly. Yes, we'll handle that. And that's everything. You have anything smart to say? Let's hear what... He said everything! What? Oh, police box. I didn't see that. That's just the police box I was waiting at. Something you're wondering about? Oh no, I just happened to find myself looking at it, that's all. Would you rather talk inside? No, there's no air conditioner, so it's probably cooler out there. Out here. It's quite alright. Talking out here should be fine. Okie dokes. Wondering about my suit, are you? It's just a cheap old thing. Sorry, I don't have anything more presentable. It looks fine. You look fine. Despite the heat, Soda looks as unruffled as ever. I do hope he isn't just pretending to be alright. Okay. Bonk. So people believe this Mare Minakuchi called forth the curse of the raging waves 5 years ago, did I? I didn't expect the curse of the raging waves to come up here, of all places. Wait. That's it, I remember now. The sole survivor of Taishima, his surname was Somekawa. There was something else about Somekawa, a wooden box? Surely that'd be too much of a coincidence. Well, that's about all I had to report. Thank you, detective. That was very informative. As for our next move, could we ask you to keep looking into Kippei Coma for us? Roger that. We'll see if we can find Somekawa again and hear what she has to say. Unfortunately, it looks like our trip to Kameshima will have to wait until tomorrow. So it seems. Oh, you had business on Kameshima too? That was actually our original reason for coming here, yes? But now we've gotten caught up in all this other troublesome business, so it looks like dealing with that will have to come first. And here I was hoping to get this over with as soon as possible so I could get back home to my husband. I see. You sure are devoted to your husband. Oh, very much. Though I do worry as he never eats properly when I'm not around. Okay. In any case, please do get in touch if you find anything else of note. Even if it's just something out of the ordinary happening, anything could be of help. Sure, will do. Though you're kind of making me worried something might actually happen now. I'd certainly prefer it if it didn't. Anyway, we're counting on you, detective. Did we know that Somekawa survived someone with the last name Somekawa was from the Taishima incident? Did we know that? I don't know, there's a lot of information to keep up with. Why are you so angry? Bad news, ma'am. It seems we were a step too late. Huh? What do you mean? It seems someone came and took that Somekawa woman out to sea just a few minutes ago. What? What? According to the witness, a foreign man came to the port with Miss Somekawa in tow. The one we met, the humbug, I say. Stick a sock in it to something. They then boarded a motorboat that was moored there and headed out into the bay. It didn't appear to be by force, so we can probably assume they knew each other. A foreign man. Not sure what's going on, but we should probably get a boat and follow just in case. Yes, let's see if... Sodo, what's wrong? The spiritual force is overwhelming. My body won't move, what's going on? What the fuck? Cersei! That girl over there, is she doing this? Oh no, are they evil? You can withstand this curse. You really are quite strong, mister. Sorry, but I can't let you go any further. I'll have to ask you to leave. Voitikos Pneuma Guardian Spirit. I butchered that. Grant me the wisdom of the Numinous. Oh, high guiding spirit, light my path ahead. My god, we're having freaking magic fights now. It seems like they saved us the effort of searching for them. So it seems. Let's see if this girl can tell us what we want to know. The freaking Pokemon battle song, you know? Who are you? I could ask the same of you. What do you want with Miss Samakawa? So you know who Miss Samakawa is, do you? Maybe. What's it to you? Ma'am, this girl's spirit sense is extremely potent, but she lacks experience. Shiki looks so much in pain. She seems hesitant to employ curses against people. If I have an opening, I can use my curse of binding to restrain her. Usually it's too risky to use on ordinary people, but that shouldn't apply here. Yeah, she's no ordinary person. Alright, I certainly wouldn't mind getting some information out of her, so this is as good an opportunity as any. I'll see if I can get her to lower her guard. When she wavers, I'll signal for you to use the curse of binding. Sound like a plan? Can she not hear you? It sounds like a plan. On your signal. Oh no. Use Sodokiri's curse of binding to restrain your opponent when they let their guard down. Press the use curse button to signal to him to use it. You only have 3 chances. So... save. A compliment? Question. Can we assume the foreign man who took Miss Somakawa is a friend of yours then? So what if he is? Why are you trying to follow them? And now there's no need to be so uptight. How about we stop all this and just talk a bit? Not happening. You're just going to use a curse the moment I drop my focus. Ah, she's onto us. Compliment? You certainly have remarkable strength for your age. Why, it might even be too much for us. What's with the sudden praise? You're creeping me out. I don't think that's gonna work now. It's no good, she's too wary of us. Okay, sorry, I fuck up. It seems I'll have to press her further before she'll give us an opening. Okay, give up. Never give up. So let's question again. What do you want with Miss Somakawa? I could say the same to you. You just want the relic for yourself, don't you? What relic? What? You know about the relic? Oh, that... I think I know. Maybe. Do I know anything? If you know about the relic, I'm afraid we can't let you get away. Is it the relic from the Taishima accident? The mirror? Get away? I'm the one holding you here. Threaten? I don't think that's a good choice, but... If you resist anymore, we'll have you taken in for obstruction of public duties. Wait, you're with the police? I don't think that's gonna work yet. That didn't work. Sorry, this is our last chance. Despite appearances, yes, defying us could net you quite the heavy punishment. I see. You must be from Paranormal Affairs. Then I definitely can't do what you say. What? What? You have quite some nerve standing up to us despite knowing where we're from. Don't think you'll get off lightly for this. Threatening me won't get you anywhere. You can't arrest me unless it's an emergency, right? Okay, we have that one. Then... We'd rather not be heavy-handed about this either. Let's calm down and find some other way to resolve this, This conversation is all over the place, I'm sorry. Sorry, but that won't work on me. I'm at a rebellious age, you see? We'd rather not be heavy-handed... Okay. So that's the same. Even knowing we're from Paranormal Affairs, you kept a straight face and hid your ties. I can tell you're both bold and smart. Thanks, I guess. Will you give up now? Oh, maybe we should act like we're giving up. You're also with Paranormal Affairs then. Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. What? I suppose this is the trouble with secret departments. Not even their own members recognize each other. What a bother. Okay, this is the same. So we're both from Paranormal Affairs, are we? Let's talk. Perhaps there's some way we can help. I told you I don't know what you're talking about. It's none of your business anyway. Okay, you're from the Paranormal Affairs, but you need the relics yourself, so you're unwilling to cooperate with us. Am I correct? If that's what you think, can you give up already? Okay, let's... Alright, I understand where you're coming from. We won't interfere anymore. Sodo, you can stop now. Mom? Really? Thanks. Yes! Ah, you grown-ups and your dirty tricks! You did well to be cautious of us, but I'm afraid this is how grown-ups get things done. Bitch. Now, will you tell us what you're up to here? Well, I suppose I've slowed you down enough. You'll never catch up to the boat now. Placas Asteri, guide my path, and with thy merciful hand uphold me. What? She broke the binding. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Confounded. Stop right there. Looks like she's giving us the slip. I doubt we'll be able to catch her now. Still, I'm going to have a word with Paranormal Affairs about that girl. Oh, win a curse battle. I put in a call to Paranormal Affairs about our errant young lady just now. I see. I assume she's indeed affiliated with them? Yes, it seems her name is Cersei Lunarlight. She's an exorcist from England who's come here in exchange. Part of her spiritual training, as I understand. The Lunarlight family, I see. Oh, are they well known? I've heard of them, yes. They're a distinguished family of exorcists. Distinguished. Quite an old one, too. It would certainly explain the strength of her spirit sense. Right. In any case, it seems she's in the care of Paranormal Affairs while she's in Japan. Huh. Honestly, I do wish they'd tell us these things in advance. What is she doing here in Mie Prefecture? Well, it seems even Paranormal Affairs isn't sure what she's up to. Oh, they've been looking for her. Oh. From the sounds of things, she's been skipping her training assignments to travel around Japan, visiting all sorts of spiritual spots instead. It doesn't seem like they're keeping an eye on her at all. Yeah. Unfortunately not. They asked me to tell her to return to Tokyo at once when we next see her. I see. More work for us then. Welp. Yes, the things we find ourselves caught up in. She seemed to know about Somekawa too. I've got a bad feeling about all this. Shall we try looking for her? I imagine she's still in the area. No, not now. If all that is true, I doubt she'll be looking to cause too much trouble. Besides, I'm sure we'll run into each other again eventually. Well, I think that's enough trouble for one day. Let's call it a day. We'll head for Kamishima first thing tomorrow. Understood? Roger that. Okay. You. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's epic. Can't wait to find more. Okay, so... yeah, I guess time to move on to our foreigners. I could dive. Yeah, let me maybe just dive a little bit. I keep forgetting about this mechanic, but also for now it's not really required anywhere. I don't know if it's literally just to get something from Kikuko, what was her face? Because if it's only to progress, get something from Kikuko, then I guess we can leave this for later. Oh, there's the question mark. I think I saw it earlier. Oh, it's a Burmese. Oh my god, so there are stickers in... Oh, in this minigame. But if they're marked with a question mark, then maybe it won't be so difficult to find them. Nice. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, it's second to last. Fast lane, frigate. Nice. Okay, let me do maybe one more. But, because I also think there's still one thing we haven't found while diving. Because when you have this summary, like, oh, you can find this seashell or whatever, abalone. Oh, wait. Ah! Okay, whatever. Nice, okay. Okay, I see you. What was I saying? Oh, that I think we still didn't really collect, like, one type of thing we can pick up, I think. There was still a question mark in the gathering log. Anything? No? Okay, I'll just return. He's so cool! Booby Bravo! I love him. I love him. Okay. Oh yeah, I want to check. Because yeah, we have noble scallop, purple sea urchin, turban shell, abalone, yeah, and we still have one question mark. Okay. One more, maybe I'll be able to upgrade one skill and then go back to the story. I wonder if maybe I should try going in the hole again. I mean, maybe not yet. Ah, I miss him! Oh, wait, sticker. I think there were only 3, no? On the seabed. Oh, what the... Come on, no, I'm not gonna make it, am I? Okay, but maybe it's gonna be in the same spot. Okay, but I unlocked it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know, maybe if we like unlock, I guess, some charms. But now I'm all turned around. I don't know where the hole is. Maybe some charms to protect us and then we can go deeper in there? Because I mean, for now I didn't see any prompt to do anything more with it. Other than just take the chains off. But I would definitely like to take a look when I have more... more oxygen with me. Okay, let me just upgrade. Yeah, I guess this one to maximum. Okay, curious, but I think for now, let's continue with the story. We'll check back with this later. Oh yeah, we have new... Okay, let's start. Read this one. Recollection. Arnulf Barnum, a cheerful fantasy author, sets off on a trip to visit the mermaid legends of Issa Bay with his relative Cersei Lunarlight as his guide. Oh, they are related. If it was said, I'm sorry, I forgot. I forget many things. After much hustle and bustle, we finally managed to make our way to Issa Bay. Nice. Let's go. Take it all in now. We're standing on the coast of Nakabepo in Mie Prefecture's Kawage town. Which means this is the Sea of Ise, the connection to the eternal world. How amazing. Indeed it is. Come, Cersei, henceforth begins our grand adventure in search of the legendary mermaids of Isse Bay. How amazing, I just can't stop saying it. Without further ado, my name is Arnulf Barnum, an American-born fantasy author. Please call me Avi. Is he breaking the fourth wall? Who are you introducing yourself to, weirdo? Well, I simply thought a new beginning called for a little dramatic flair, you know? Sure. With that out of the way, perhaps my darling guide can provide some insight into the goings-on of this locale. Sure, I've got you covered. Surroundings. While this area is now called Nakabepo, long ago it was a region of Ise province known as Betsuho. Records indicate that 3 mermaids were caught in a fisherman's net along this coast back in the Heian period. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Let's hear more about those mermaids. They had human heads with the mouths of monkeys, and the teeth and bodies of fish, and they spoke and even shed tears like humans. Could these be the fish mermaids you mentioned before, Avi? Indubitably. Yes, this must be the place. I'm getting goosebumps. Right? I feel the same way. This is so exciting. Betsuho. Betsuni? Betsuho is the old name for the area now known as Nakabeppo Kawage town in the Age district. So named during the events of the story, it has since been merged with Tsu city, Omiya prefecture. Said to have been the territory of Naira no Kiyomori's father, Taira no Tadamori. The area has a deep connection to the Ise-heike. It is also said to be the location where 3 mermaids were caught in a fisherman's net and presented to Taira no Tadamori during the Heian period. Okay. Oh, we can do surroundings again. The endless expanse of the Ise Sea, the eternal world may lie just beyond this horizon. After all, Ise province is the land whither repaired the waves from the eternal world. The eternal world is purported to be a perpetual paradise. Jesus fucking Christ. A separate plane from the world we live in, yes? Could it be that mermaids hail from such a place? Oh, I can't do a full 360. What is this? What is this blasphemy? This young lady is a distant relative of mine, the third daughter of the Lunar Light family. The Lunar Lights have been in the business of demonic exorcism in England for several generations now. As such, young Cersei has received education on this rare subject from a young age and is now an apprentice exorcist. In order to continue her training, or more likely, simply because of her interest in the area, Cersei has come to Japan to study abroad. Upon hearing such news, I sought to employ her as my guide for this mermaid hunting expedition to Ise Bay. She is apparently quite fond of Japanese myths and folktales and has already explored a number of areas concerned with the occult. Interested in visiting Mie Prefecture at least once during her stay, she immediately agreed to my request. Okay. Cersei is the third daughter of Ciara Lunar Light, the current head of the matrilineal Lunar Light family, a long line of exorcists based in England. Along with her 2 older sisters, she has received a specialized education in exorcism ever since she was a child, and is currently in training as an apprentice. As the beings known as demons in the West ultimately share the same root cause as harmful supernatural phenomena in the East, the spirits of the dead, strong thoughts and curses, what she does as an exorcist is fundamentally the same as what Japanese psychics do, with only the methods and terminology differing. Oh, her spiritual abilities, guardian spirits, the ability to call upon the numerous guardian spirits of the Lunar Light family and invoke their powers to exorcise spirits and negate certain psychic abilities. Shikigami, the ability to turn a piece of paper with an individual's name written on it into a butterfly which will return to the individual in question. Although she does not have to be the one who wrote the name, it must be Cersei who casts the spell on the paper. You mean like you can write a letter and then the individual's name? Or is it just the name? Dowsing, the ability to use a pendulum to search for a target based on what the user can sense of their spiritual power. The effective distance of the spell depends on the strength of the target's spiritual power. Jesus Christ. Although she is supposed to be in the care of the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, a confidential Japanese institute, during her time in Japan, Cersei has been spending more time traveling around the country sightseeing than working through her training circle. The supervisor in charge of her training has all but given up on trying to manage her as a result, resolving to keep an eye on her but otherwise not interfere. As such, she's afforded a relatively high level of freedom. Cersei is an ardent fan of Miyo Kurosuzu, a girl with potent spirit sense and her senior in the industry in Japan. She harbors both strong admiration and strong feelings of rivalry towards her in equal measure, and it is not uncommon for her to end up a bubbling mess when the topic turns to the other girl. She treasures the photograph she had taken of Mia upon first meeting her in Tokyo and keeps it with her at all times. Is Mio then the... Will Mio be the sorcerer that Wakamura talks to? 'Cause I don't think we know Emiyu. Kawage town might be located right next to Mie Prefecture's modern capital, Tsu City, but there's something you have to keep in mind. This was also the birthplace of the Heiki, a branch of the Heian period's preeminent Taira clan. This game has so many words I don't know. If you're going to talk about Issei province, then you absolutely have to mention the Heiki. I do have a passing understanding of the topic. The Heiki took part in the Genpei War, correct? That's right, that was the war in the Heian period where two great samurai families, the Minamoto and the Taira, locked horns and really got into it. Among the Heiki, Taira no Kiyomori was a particularly famous figure who appears in many creative works concerning the event. His father, Taira no Tadamori, was the one responsible for securing the Heiki's high social standing. Also, yes, I will be saying Heiki, I will be pronouncing that word different each time I freaking see it. So, Tadamori was Kiyomori's father, right? With names like that, how can anyone hope to keep them straight? These longer Japanese names, I will not remember. That's history for you. I'm afraid you just have to memorize them. No! I suppose you're right about that. Then memorize them I shall. Apparently, Tadamori was born in Tsu City in a place called Ubushina. So that's why they call this area the birthplace of the Heiki. Okay, Tsu City, still located in the center of the Ise Plain, the capital Mie Prefecture. Previously known as Anotsu, Tsu City has served as a port town since the Heian period, after which it continued to flourish as an important port city for Japan. Tsu City is also known as the birthplace of the Heiki. The Ubushina area in its suburbs is said to be where Taira no Kiyomori's father, Taira no Tadamori, was born. Talk about this place. This is the metropolitan center of Mie and a locus of historical events. I guess that makes it the perfect place to start a new journey. Okay. Can we get back to those mermaids you mentioned? What became of the three that were caught in the fishing nets? At that time, the lord of this area was Taira no Tadamori. You didn't already forget him, did you? I probably did. Well, the fisherman thought the mermaids were a fascinating find, so he placed two of them into boxes and presented them to Tadamori. Lord Tadamori must have been well pleased by that. How could he not be? It was known that eating the flesh of a mermaid grants eternal life. Actually, Tadamori evidently said they were disturbing and gross and refused to accept them. Valid. What a waste! However, the fisherman cut up the remaining mermaid and ate it himself. So, what happened to him? Well, the fisherman said it was pretty tasty. Well now, tasty is it? And that's all I've got. Oh, that's it? That's all I could find in existing records. Then the act of eating a mermaid's flesh alone may not produce any results. Or he didn't eat a mermaid, but he ate the human that was in the middle being transformed into a fish. I suppose then there may be other requisite conditions, wouldn't you say? Well, considering the sheer number of eyewitness reports concerning mermaids, it is odd that there aren't more immortals walking around. So it's not mermaids, it's this freaking fish people. As far as the girl is concerned, I suppose I could be considered a guardian of sorts. Even so, I often find myself caught up in her pace and completely thrown off guard. If anyone should be shaking things up around here, it ought to be me. Okay. There don't seem to be any records about what happened to the mermaids that Tadamori refused to accept. I suppose it's possible someone in the Heiki clan snuck off with them. Now that's a hypothesis I can get behind. I've put together an assortment of files concerning the Heiki, so feel free to give them a look if you're interested. You have my heartfelt gratitude. Taira no Tadamori. Taira no Tadamori, the father of Taira no Kiyomori, so many freaking Tairas, an influential figure of the Heian period, was the man responsible for solidifying the social standing of the Ise Taira clan, and was notable for being the first samurai permitted to enter the imperial court. Entering the imperial court meant being granted access to the Tenjo Noma, a chamber where those who directly served the emperor performed their official duties. In an area where the warrior class was still considered of low status, a samurai rising to the level of court official was unprecedented. The Ise Taira clan went on to extend its influence across various provinces, with the vast wealth it gained through trade with the Song dynasty of China solidifying its foundation. The significant influence was later inherited by his son, Kiyomori. Tadamori was said to have been a man of strong will and perseverance, yet despite the power he amassed in his lifetime, he was also said to have been modest and disinclined to indulge in luxuries. Nukemaru, Tadamori's sword, an heirloom passed down through the Taira clan. Originally named Kogarashi, it is said to have become known as Nukemaru when a giant snake emerged from a lake and made to swallow Tadamori whole as he lay resting. At that moment, Kogarashi, which Tadamori had left leaning nearby, slipped from its scabbard of its own accord and drove the snake away. The name Nukemaru derives from the verb nuku, meaning to unsheath, and reflects the sword's extraordinary act of slipping from its scabbard on its own to save its owner. Nukemaru was later inherited by Tadamori's son Yorimori, but after the downfall of the Taira clan, it is said to have changed hands several times, and its whereabouts are currently unknown. The Mermaids of Betsuho. One time, when Tadamori was visiting Betsuho in Ise province, 3 creatures with the heads of humans, the lips of monkeys, and the teeth and bodies of fish were caught in the local fishermen's nets. Yeah, so it doesn't sound like actual mermaids, but those people that were being changed into fish, but didn't change fully. But also, lips of monkeys. Dubbing these creatures ningyo, the original Japanese word for mermaids, the fishermen put 2 of them in a box that had washed up with them and presented them to Tadamori. However, Tadamori was unnerved by their appearance and refused to accept them. It is said that the remaining mermaid was cut up and eaten by the fishermen, who found them to be delicious. Which is a great fun fact. Oh, there's one thing I should warn you about though. Oh? This group sometimes gets referred to as Ise Taira as well, which might make things a little confusing. I'll go ahead and label it all as Heike. Does it really matter? Aren't they basically the same thing? Not exactly. You see, the term Ise Taira refers to the Taira clan as a whole because it originated in Ise. On the other hand, people generally refer to the family within the clan that included Tadamori and Kiyomori as simply the Heike. Their family features prominently in the stories we're interested in, so I'll use Heike most of the time, plus it has a nice ring to it. I'm still confused, so it doesn't really matter. Either way works for me, so do as you like. The Tale of Heike, also used Heike. You're awfully particular about this, but I rather like that kind of fastidiousness. Anyway, after a number of events, the Heike would go on to lose the Battle of Dan Noura and be completely eradicated. I believe I know this one. Dan Noura is found in Kyushu, is it not? Bingo! The clan was chased out of Kyoto and pushed further and further west until they were eventually wiped out there. It pains me to think of such a resplendently glorious clan meeting such an ignominious end. Jesus, more's the pity. That's why the Heike's resentment is particularly strong, and many remnants of it remain even today. Shrines and monuments have even been erected throughout the land in an attempt to quell that resentment. And now we reach your particular field of expertise. Because the clan fell from such an exalted position so abruptly, that resentment is exceptionally persistent and quite pervasive. That said, famous places related to people like Taira and Kiyomori are well attended by worshippers, so they're relatively stable. It's the puffed up and pretentious Heike clan members that no one even remembers who caused the most trouble. I seem to recall a number of individuals going so far as to claim that those outside of a Heike clan could not even be considered human. But if that's the case, are we really safe here? You don't think we might find ourselves assailed by these lingering grudges? Much of Ise province is protected by shrines, and the area is suffused with spiritual energy, so we're probably safer here than most places. But that's just the land itself. Objects or people that the resentment has seeped into are a different story altogether. That's somewhat troubling to hear. Dun, 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 dun. Well, either way you look at it, this region is still home to many places and things associated with the Heike. Excellent. I believe I've gotten a grasp of the situation at hand. It's time we made our way to the next locale. We're on the clock after all. Let's get to it. Let's move. To Tel Island. Okay, Anno Town, let's go. Well, it would seem that we've arrived. And where are we now, Cersei? This is an area in Ano town known as Kusawa. Kusawa is quite famous because of the Yao Bikuni legend. I'd be surprised if there was anyone who hasn't heard of it. I'm sorry to say I've never heard of it. Wait, really? Come now, don't act so shocked. You can't expect me to know every little thing. And besides, I'm not even from this country. The very reason I requested you be my guide was so you could teach me about things like this. I guess that's true. Okay, I understand. I'll be counting on your explanations. Ano town. Ano town is located in the Age district, so named during the events of the story. It has since been merged with the city of Mie Prefecture. Located at the foot of Kyogamine, a mountain with a single 819-meter peak, the land surrounding it is rich in natural splendor, with multiple hot springs welling forth from the earth around it. From the Edo period until the Meiji period, it was known for being the primary place of production of tsumoji, a delicate fabric woven in such a way as to be semi-transparent. Okie dokes. Surroundings. Ah, the fabled beauty of the serene Japanese countryside. It really is charming. Oh yes, the incessant chirping of locusts combined with unrelenting heat. This is Japanese summer, alright? It's fascinating to think that such a peaceful place could be home to such profound historical events. I'm practically jittering with excitement. I can see that. Let's try to keep a cool head, shall we? Yeah, hold your horses. Shrine. What's down there? Some sort of shrine? This shrine is apparently dedicated to Sugawara no Michizane. We should go pay our respects before we leave. The legend of Yao Bikuni originated here in Kusawa, Ano town. Long, long ago, a 17-year-old girl named Osato lived in this village. She unknowingly ingested the meat of a mermaid that was served during a village gathering and became immortal. How? After subsequently being persecuted by the other villagers, she became a nun and made a pilgrimage around the entire country. At the end of the story, she eventually returned to this village and lived out the rest of her very long life. Huh. Tales told in other parts of the country play out in almost exactly the same fashion. Yeah, I guess that's true. Huh. Tale of Yao Bikuni, a fully ordained Buddhist nun, who acquired preternatural longevity after eating the flesh of a mermaid. Can be found in almost every region of Japan. Although the exact details vary greatly between regions, yeah, they all share the same fundamental element. A girl who ate mermaid flesh lived for 800 years. The Yao Bikuni legend passed down in Mie Prefecture is as follows. Once upon a time, a beautiful girl by the name of Osato lived in Kusawa village. One day, when Osato was 17, the flesh of a mermaid was served at a village gathering. The other villagers, disturbed at the thought of eating such a strange creature, refused to eat it, but Osato unknowingly ate the mermaid's flesh. Okay. From that moment on, Osato didn't age a day. Shunned by the other villagers and treated as a monster, she was eventually forced to leave the village. Becoming a nun, Osato traveled the length and breadth of Japan for hundreds of years before eventually returning to Kusawa village, where her long life at last came to an end. I mean, we know she's still here. The legend of Yao Bikuni, the girl who ate the flesh of a mermaid and lived for 800 years, has been passed down all over Japan. Not only here in Mie Prefecture's Ano town, but in Fukui, Aichi, and Gifu prefectures as well. In total, the story has been found in 121 locations in 28 prefectures throughout the country, or at least that's what certain research has indicated. That's a lot. Doesn't that seem like a lot? Were there really that many different Yao Bikunis out there? Obviously, not all of the legends can be true, but I actually have a theory on the subject. Would you like to hear it? By all means. Most of the legends refer to a woman who stopped aging and lived for 800 years after consuming the meat of a mermaid. At that point, because others would find it strange that she wasn't getting any older, she wasn't able to live in normal society anymore. I suppose that would be natural. It would explain why she withdrew from the world and became a nun. Exactly, and that's how she got the name Yao Bikuni, the 800-year-old Bikuni nun. With 800 years on her hands, she could have easily made a pilgrimage around the entire country. How interesting. Buddhist priests are known for trekking throughout the land as a form of ascetic training. And if we consider the 121 locations where the legend was found, with 800 years to spare, she could have spent 6 years in each location. 6 years would certainly be enough time for her to make a name for herself in each and every location, right? Oh, my dear, I believe I see what you're getting at. Your theory posits that the stories of Yaobikuni that have been passed down in every corner of the country all refer to the exact same individual. Well, it might be a bit much to say that all of them are the same. There may have been a few different people. But it's more convincing than the theory that there were 121 people. I also think the Yaobikuni of Wakasa province is the most likely origin of the legend. I wonder, don't all of the different instances of the story throughout Japan also claim that particular location as her place of final rest? That may be true, but I assume that each of those different places wanted to have a grave or some other tangible marker to base the legend on. But would so many people that are purported to have lived for 800 years all die at around the same time? It seems pretty unlikely. Then you believe some of the tales were embellished somewhat? That sort of thing happens all the time. Legends are always mixtures of truth and fantasy. Moreover, it doesn't make sense that every single immortal would decide to become a nun. There were likely some places that simply believed Yaobikuni was the term for an immortal. Rather than a nun, for all we know she said I'ma be nun of the hut and became an Amma diver. That was a good one. That's actually pretty insightful. Many legends are based on simple semantic and misunderstandings. Now wait just a minute, I won't stand here and let my dumb joke actually become a salient point of discussion. Let's drop it then. But still, if one were to somehow live for 800 years, a person that became immortal after the Kamakura period could still be alive today. True? And if so, I'd love to sit them down for a long chat. Can Kusawa's legend of Yaobikuni really be true? There must be falsehoods and fictions mixed into the tale, surely. Who knows? Ise province isn't that far from Wakasa province after all. She may have simply walked here from there. The fact that the stories from each different area are so similar does make me wonder if they didn't get mixed together somehow. You think the legend may be an amalgamation of stories from various locations? Exactly, but then again... The immortal in the story from this location has her own name, which gives the legend a certain verisimilitude. Indeed it does. I guess we can assume that a girl with that name really did live here long ago. Then something must have happened to make people believe she had become immortal. It's reasonable to assume her story then got mixed up with various legends of Yaobikuni from around the country before being passed down. Of course, the exact timing of these events is still unclear, but that does present an interesting possibility. She could very well still be living in this village. Wouldn't that be a compelling development? Leave it to an occult writer to think up something like that. That's right, you're seeing the prodigious imaginative power of a fantasy author in action. Epic. Yeah, it's really something. But the fact of the matter is that almost no traces of Yaobikuni remain in this village. Even her grave, which is referred to as Lady Yao's tomb, has never been located. But then, did we come all this way for nothing? What about the shrine? Well, it might not have a direct connection, but there is something one should always consider when discussing Issei. The Tales of Issei. Have you heard of it? It's the oldest extant collection of Japanese verse, compiled sometime during the Heian period. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with it. But I have heard of the Tale of Genji and the Tale of Heike. Is it anything like those? Well, those were also stories written during the Heian period, but that's where the similarities end. Nice try though. Well, they sound similar enough anyway. Don't worry, I'm not an expert on the subject either. Basically, this collection of verse elaborates on a number of waka poems by giving accounts of the events surrounding each one. The entire collection of 125 passages is referred to as the Tales of Issei. That's easy enough to remember, no? The Tales of Issei is a collection of short stories. Check. One more thing. The title might be The Tales of Issei, but the content isn't all that focused on the actual area. What's this now? Are they intentionally attempting to confuse and bewilder us? Some believe the title comes from the fact that passage 69 is set in Issei province. At any rate, I just thought I should bring it up because it does have at least a slight bearing on the topic at hand. If you're keen to learn more, I'll add more detailed information to the files. Why, thank you, I'll be sure to read through them later. Or now. Oh my god, okay. Tales of Issei, a collection of verse or uta monogatari, thought to be the oldest surviving work in Japan. It is particularly well known for the opening sentence of many of its prose passages. Long ago, there was a man. Believed to have been compiled in the Heian period, it greatly influenced the literature of the area, including famous works such as The Tale of Genji. The central figure of the narrative is speculated to be a fictionalized version of Ariwara no Narihara, a poet of the Heian period, with the prose passages serving as a biography for the character. Both the author and its exact date of publication are unknown. The narrative spans 125 episodes, which vary in length from a few lines to several pages. It covers the life of a man from his coming of age to his death and focuses primarily on the protagonist and the people around him, particularly his romantic dalliances with women. Some of its most famous episodes are summarized below. Episode 1. Uikoburi. Having come of age, a man sets out on a ceremonial falconry excursion where he catches sight of two beautiful sisters. Infatuated, he cuts off the sleeve of his robe, inscribes a waka poem on it, and sends it to them. Okay. Episode 6. Akutagawa. A man, having finally succeeded in stealing away a beautiful noble woman, flees with her to a warehouse where they take shelter from the rain. However, the man discovers in the morning that she has disappeared, devoured by a demon that inhabited the warehouse. Tough luck! Episode 9. Azuma Kudari. Feeling despondent about his future, a man embarks on a journey to the east with a group of friends. In Mikawa province, he catches sight of some beautiful flowers and reflects on how far his journey has brought him, and recites a poem. In Sugura province, he sees snow on the peak of Mount Fuji, contemplates the passage of time, and recites a poem. In Musashi province, he spots an unfamiliar bird on the shores of the Sumida River, recalls his wife and hometown, and recites a poem. His friends all weep upon hearing the latter, moved by his feelings for his faraway home. Episode 23. Tsutsui Zutsu. My god. Close friends from childhood, a man and a woman exchange poems and are wed. But when the man prepares to travel to faraway Kawachi province to visit his other lover, the woman displays no hint of displeasure as she sees him off on his journey. Suspicious of her actions, the man hides in their garden and watches as his wife makes herself up as beautifully as she can. But when she then sits and recites poems out of concern for her traveling husband, he feels a profound shame and decides not to go to Kawachi. Episode 69. Kari no Tsukai. Having been sent to Ise province to hunt game, a man is received with great hospitality by the imperial princess, serving as priestess at Ise shrine. Attracted to each other, the two attempt to meet in secret, but can find no opportunity to speak intimately. Although they promise one another to meet the following day, it is not meant to be. The two exchange poems of farewell before the man sets out to continue his journey. Episode 95. Hikoboshi. Having fallen in love with a woman who serves in the imperial court, a man finally manages to meet her after patiently waiting for the right moment. However, the two are still separated by a screen. The man recites a poem to her, proclaiming that his love for her is greater even than Hikoboshi's love for Orihime. He compares the screen separating them to the Milky Way that separated the two legendary lovers. Moved by his words, the woman removes the screen, allowing them to finally meet face to face. There is one other thing we can learn from the Tales of Issei. Adding the tale of to a book title really classes things up. You should keep it in mind. It was apparently all the rage during the Heian period. Oh, I couldn't agree more. My next work is certainly going to be a tale of. Well then, I suppose that brings this particular subject to a close. On to the next. No rest for the wicked, I say. Time to tackle the next mermaid myth. Sure. Okay. Let's go then. Okay, Futamigaura. Oh, is that where we found the corpse? Yeah, I think so, right? I think it's the same spot. And here we find our next subject of inquiry. What place might this be, my dear? This is Futamigara, the coastline that lies beside Futami town. It's just over from Issei City. Ah, then we've finally penetrated the outskirts of Issei City proper. Things are certainly beginning to heat up. I infer that Ise City was the prefectural capital from the fact that Mie Prefecture was once known as Ise Province. Not bad, eh? Well, I can understand how you would arrive at that conclusion. But the truth is, Mie Prefecture is composed of 4 separate provinces: Issei, Shima, Iga, and Ki. Ah, is that so? But that doesn't change the fact that Ise City is regarded as the spiritual capital of Japan, making it a very important location. Very interesting, but the sun has already begun its steady descent, so perhaps we should pick up the pace a bit. Surroundings. Futamigawa Sea is famously said to purify the body, so many visitors to Ise Shrine come here as well. The scenic beauty of the location has even been featured in poems from antiquity. It certainly is easy on the eyes. The strands of pine trees along the shore make for quite a striking image. To make it even better, the embankment we're standing on offers a 360-degree view of Ise Bay. Oh, it makes you want to get out on the very edge to take it all in. It really does. Being surrounded by the bay like this is such an enchanting feeling. What a breathtaking view. Okay, let's talk about Futamigawa mermaids. So, does this place have any legends featuring mermaids? It does. A record called the Kaginki was written by people at Horyuji Temple after the Kamakura period. In that record, there are a total of 6 instances of information concerning mermaids. 6, eh? That's certainly promising. One of those entries describes the sighting here in Futami, Ise province on April 3rd during the second year of the Enbun era, which would be 1357. So they even noted the exact date. How fortuitous. The passage is as follows. From the sea of Futami in Ise province came Enmeiju, delivering perpetuity. So, what exactly does that mean? My guess is that a mermaid was spotted in the sea by Futami and it was named Enmeiju, meaning health and long life, because it granted longevity. Aha! It granted longevity, did it? Finally, we're getting to the good stuff. Yes, it's another account relating mermaids to Yao Bikuni. It seems the idea of mermaids granting immortality had already been established at that time. Indeed, and now we even have a name. So, what sort of mermaid was this and what became of it? No clue. Again with the vague records, these people write down the appearance of some fantastical creature and just let it wander off. I haven't personally gone over every bit of research on the matter, but I can speculate on an answer. Records of mermaids in other places also often refer to them by name. In fact, it may not have been all that uncommon for the people in the area to encounter them when these records were written. Let me see if I follow your meaning. The same mermaid would appear repeatedly, leading people in the area to grow accustomed to it. Am I on the right track? Exactly. I mean, you wouldn't bother giving a name to something you only saw once after all. These people may have even come to have a kind of rapport with the mermaids. At the very least, it doesn't appear as though they were trying to capture any. Mermaids that people didn't want to capture. Then they weren't seeking its flesh. Perhaps there was a way of obtaining immortality even without the meat? Maybe mermaid meat really was just tasty and nothing more. And if that were the case, then it makes perfect sense that they would view the mermaid as a divine creature. So they treated it as an auspicious being that blessed others with long life. You may be onto something there. This makes me think of that theory you mentioned about how there might be 2 different kinds of mermaids. Oh, you remembered. I stand by my theory. There's the fish mermaid, which looks more like an aquatic monster or beastie. And the human mermaid, which resembles a demi-human or nymph. Demi-human. Indeed, that's the simplest way to describe it anyhow. Assuming the mermaid in question had a name, formed relationships with humans, and granted longevity, it stands to reason it was of the human mermaid variety. You have a point. The mermaids we've encountered thus far have all been caught in nets and appear to be more like fish mermaids. It seems more likely then that the mermaids who grant longevity are actually these human mermaids. Interesting. That in turn would suggest... My word, would this mean that one could become immortal without eating their flesh? I'm not sure. There are countless legends that reference the need to consume their flesh. But I can't help but feel like there's more to it. Indeed. If human mermaids are capable of communicating with us, I'd really like to speak to one. Agreed. Speaking of which, this is entirely unrelated, but there's something I've been wondering. Do you mind? What? But our conversation was just getting good. Protest all you like, but I shall ask anyway. On our way here, I noticed a certain something adorning the entrances to everyone's houses. What was that? Oh, right, those are so many Shorai talismans. Somin Shorai? Yes, although in most of Japan they usually only hang up around the New Year, but here in the Ise Tobashima region they're traditionally left up all year long. Interesting. I can add more detailed information to the files for you later. Later meaning now. Somin Shorai. Type of talisman inscribed with the character Somin Shorai Shison, meaning descendant of Somin Shorai. These talismans come in a variety of forms, ranging from smaller objects such as paper slips, wooden tags, or hexagonal wooden charms, to larger objects such as hoops made of entwined miscanthus reeds or shimenawa, sacred ropes used for ritual purification. These talismans are generally placed at the doorways of households as a prayer for sound health and ward of illness. Many households in Isashima place Somin Shorai talismans at the entrances to their homes, usually in the form of paper slips or shimenawa. Although most families in Japan only put shimenawa up during the New Year, in Isashima they are kept up the whole year round, being replaced once a year on New Year's Eve. The word Somin Shorai originates from the name of the central figure in the legend of the same name. Although many versions of the tale exist throughout Japan, the tale as generally told in Isashima is as follows. On New Year's Eve, the deity Gozu Tenno set out to court the princess of Ryugu. However, when night fell, he found that none of the nearby inns had a spare room to offer him, and so he turned to two brothers who lived by the sea for hospitality. The wealthy younger brother, Kotan Shorai, turned him away despite having the means to accommodate him. The elder brother, Somin Shorai, welcomed Gozu Tenno into his home even though he lived in poverty. Pleased by the simple yet heartfelt reception he had received, Gozu Tenno rewarded this hospitality by sparing only Somin Shorai from a plague that ravaged the area the next year. Ever since, it is said that hanging a wreath of miscanthus reeds and a charm declaring oneself to be a descendant of Somin Shorai from one's waist will offer protection from plagues and illness. This tradition has survived to the present day, where such charms are now used as talismans for good health and well-being. Curious. What is it? What? What is it? Now you're making me antsy. What? 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 Come now, Cersei, you realized something about those Somin Shorai, didn't you? You must share. No, nothing like that. It just made me think about how close this area is to the eternal world. Is it? What does that mean? You'd already know this from the files, but regarding the Somin Shorai, its origin goes back to a legend about the deity Gozu Tenno, who was courting the princess of Ryugu. Ryugu, you say? That's right, Ryugu is close to this place. In other words, that place is very close to the eternal world. Yes, and furthermore, Gozu Tenno was also the guardian deity of the Gion Shoja temple. The very same Gion Shoja who gets mentioned in our good old friend, The Tale of Haiki. So it is. What was it again? From the bells of the Gion Shoja echoes out the impermanence of all things, right? Sure. It sounds so cool that even I memorize it. Haven't got a clue what it means though. And I can't pronounce it properly, so... Yes, that's the one. As for its meaning, you can look it up yourself. Fine. So what you're saying is... Iseshima is a land with deep ties to both Ryugu and the Heiki. And that is exactly why the Somin Shorai tradition is so well established here. Ah, that reminds me. What? There's something about Ryugu's princess that keeps bothering me as well. She certainly is mysterious, huh? That reminds me about Futamigaura. Dear me, how time flies when listening to your lecture, Cersei. The sun has already gone down. I suppose I got carried away, sorry. Well, if that results in such a lovely view of the sea at night, I'll not complain. You're right, just look at all those stars. Surroundings. Oh, but we really let time get away from us. Look how dark it's gotten. Without the light from the stars above, we'd be lost in pitch darkness. But look, the heavens are entirely enveloped in a shower of dazzling pinpricks of light. What a sight to behold. Would you happen to be versed in constellations, Cersei? Well, I've dabbled a bit in astrology, so I guess I know a thing or two. Excellent, do tell. In a second, quick look-see. Doubt there would be a bird sticker right now, but doesn't hurt to check. Okay. Well, if we consider the constellations you can see in Japan during summer, the first one that comes to mind is the Summer Triangle. It's an easy one to find. Triangle, eh? Then I presume it is made up of 3 stars? Correct? Vega in the constellation Lyra, Deneb in the constellation Cygnus, and Altair in the constellation Aquila. This trio of bright stars can be observed close to the Milky Way in this season. What? I wanna see. How do we go about identifying them? Well, first, low in the southwestern portion of the sky, look for a star that glows red, Antares of the Scorpio constellation. Southwest you say. From here that would mean facing inland and looking to the right. Okay, try to find a red star low in the sky and point to it. Okay. Possibly the most famous of the summer constellations, the Summer Triangle is formed by connecting Vega, Deneb, and Altair. Altair? Vega and Altair are also said to represent Orihime and Hikoboshi, the 2 central figures of the Tanabata legend. The romantic imagery of the star-crossed lovers separated by the Milky Way has captivated people's imagination since time immemorial. How to find it? The Summer Triangle is visible in the sky almost directly overhead around August. Start by facing southwest and looking low in the sky to find Antares, the bright red heart of the constellation Scorpius. From there, look straight up and you should spot Vega near the zenith. Okay. Is this the... oh, I guess this is the red one. Right? So that's the Scorpion one? Wait, I do believe I found it. The star just there with the reddish tint. That must be Antares, yes? Correct, that is indeed Antares, the brightest star in the Scorpio constellation. Huh, I found it all by myself. Why, I'd make quite the celestial cartographer if I do say so myself. I hate to rain on your parade, but you were supposed to be looking for a star in the Summer Triangle, so please try again. Yes, that's right. Why not try looking straight up from Antares? I bet you'll find Vega at the sky's zenith. Give it a shot. Well, I thought first I have to interact. Straight up? You mean this one? Ah, there, that must be it. Bingo! That's Vega, one of the 3 stars in the Summer Triangle. In Japan, Vega is also called the Orihime star, and is famous for its connection to the Tanabata Star Festival. Then that must mean Hikoboshi will be on the opposite side of the Milky Way from that one. Exactly right. Can you figure out which one it is? One of the other stars in the Summer Triangle is in the same area, so see if you can find it. I think I know which one. I'm guessing this one. Ah. Eureka! I've spotted it! Ooh, that's Altair, one of the 3 stars in the Summer Triangle. Part of the Aquila constellation, Altair is also known in Japan as Hikoboshi for its role in the Tanabata Star Festival. Oh, that means I've managed to spot both Orihime and Hikoboshi. It's as if I've drawn the 2 star-crossed lovers together with my own hand. How overjoyed they must be. Yeah, nice work. I didn't expect you to be such a romantic. There's still another star in the Summer Triangle to find. It might be hard to see because of the angle. Right you are. It certainly is a bit tricky to see something directly above you. Okay. I mean, wouldn't it be this one? Or not the... oh, wait, or this one. No, that's the Vega, right? This one? If my eye is as discerning as I believe it to be, that's the one. Oh, nice find. Nice. That's Deneb, one of the 3 stars in the Summer Triangle. Deneb lies within the Milky Way, which earns it the nickname Milky Way Star. Ah, it does indeed appear to be swimming nicely along that starry stream. There, I've located all 3 stars of the Summer Triangle. How do you like that? Good work. Now we've mastered the summer skies. Should I start addressing you as Professor? That's me. Feel free to rely on my knowledge. Alright then, tell me, what is another name for the star Hiko? This one, right? Altair? That's right. Yes. Well done, Professor. Phew. I mean, nothing to it. I'm smart. I know things. Regardless, we've seen all there is to see here in Futamigaura. I'd even go so far as to call this a wrap. I think that covers all the mermaid legends for Mia Prefecture, but is there anywhere else here you're keen to visit, Cersei? What? We haven't even visited Issa Shrine yet. If you ask me, we've barely scratched the surface. Ah, you've got a point there, but it's getting late, so let's save that for tomorrow, shall we? Alright. The next day. Mount Asama. Wow, talk about a gorgeous view. It is something, isn't it? This is Mount Asama's observation platform. It overlooks Toba City on one side and Ise City on the other. So that's Toba City over there, eh? What's Toba got going for it? Well, the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about Toba is Toba Castle, built in the Sengoku period by none other than the pirate daimyo Lord Kuki, who at one time led the Kuki naval fleet. Kuki? Oh, that's more exciting than I anticipated. As for the Toba-shima area, it's famous for having the highest population of ama divers in Japan. Huh, I knew there'd be something touristy. What a fantastic blend of culture and history. Mount Asama straddles the border between Ise City and Toba City and is also known by its official name of Asamagatake. Part of the Ise-shima National Park, it was selected as one of the 100 landscapes of Japan, a listing of famous scenic sites gathered from across the country. Kongo Shoji, a temple located on the southern peak of Mount Asama, was built to protect Ise Shrine from the northeast, traditionally regarded as a spiritually vulnerable direction. Perhaps as a result, many worshippers who visit Ise Shrine also make the journey to Kongo Shoji. The observatory at the peak of the mountain offers a sweeping view of Toba City and the many islands that dot Ise Bay. It is nice. Surroundings. Apparently, Mount Asama's peak sits at 555 meters above sea level, so it's not that high. But as it's situated at the tip of the Shima Peninsula, it offers a magnificent view of Toba's coastline and the outlying islands. Toba Bay's coastline. Since we stopped by the shrine this morning, I assume we take the mountain path. All I can say is this place takes my breath away. I don't think there's any barbies. First off, you should know that the naval troops in the Sengoku period were basically just pirates. Pirates, eh? Yes, they would put together crews of rowdy sailors, arm them to the teeth, and have them patrol a designated area of the sea. They only actually served under their commander as a naval force when there was a battle. So that's what the navy was like back then, A ragtag bunch of pirates only called on to do their duty in times of need. Exactly. In fact, such forces only came to be called navies during the Edo period, and that was purely a matter of coincidence. Convenience. Stroke. As for the Kuki Navy, it was one of the pirate bands patrolling the waters of Ise Bay. A man named Kuki Yoshitaka was its commander, hence the name. He distinguished himself in the service of Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, eventually rising to the position of daimyo of Shima province. That's why they called him the pirate daimyo. He started as a lowly pirate but rose all the way to the top of the chain of command. Did you say Oda Nobunaga? Him I've heard of. He was the demon king of the sixth heaven, no? True, but that's the title he gave himself. Still, a pirate and a daimyo, what an enchanting combination. That may be, but he wasn't blessed where allies were concerned. It seems he was always butting heads with his relatives. Oh? For one thing, he may have had his nephew Sumitaka assassinated in order to take over the Kuki clan. He also fought on the opposite side to his own son Moritaka in the decisive battle of Sekigahara. And in the end, spurred on by his vassals, he committed suicide on Toshijima, that island over there. So while Kuki became daimyo of Shima province, his land was confiscated during his son's rule, and the clan fell into decline. Life truly is full of ups and downs, how the mighty do fall. He must have been quite a character. That reminds me, there's another fascinating legend related to the Kuki clan. Oh? Do tell. It's about Kuki Yoshitaka's nephew, Sumitaka. He had an extraordinarily beautiful daughter named Princess Hatsune. I dare say, I know where this is going. Whenever a legend starts with a beautiful daughter, it inevitably ends with trouble. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Princess Hatsune was so beautiful that she saw no end of suitors, and her father sought to marry her off to achieve his political ends. But the princess already had a lover, so she fought against her father's plans and even ran away several times, only to be brought home. I knew it. Alas, that's what life was like for the daughters of powerful figures in those days. Well, Princess Hatsune lamented her fate. Must I be cursed with such misfortune merely for my beauty? And she didn't stop there. May no beautiful daughter be born to this land again, such was the curse she left behind, before throwing herself down a well. Not to be dramatic, but... And so ends the legend. Huh. Not what I'd call a happy ending. The princess may have had good intentions, but I'm sure no one else felt she was doing them any favors. Good intentions? That isn't how I interpreted it. Well, what's your take on the story then? When authority figures try to force other people's hands, they bring these things upon themselves. It's just asking to get cursed. Fair enough, I see your point. Still, the princess did take it a bit far. To me though, it almost feels like that part was tacked on later. As if someone thought it would make the story more impactful and that word of it would travel further if the princess killed herself at the end. Huh, yeah. If you're right, that would change the story completely. But there's something else that interests me more. Sumitaka became head of the Kuki clan in 1560s, but he was so young that Yoshitaka had to be appointed as his... Well, after that fateful battle, who do you think they sent to reclaim the legendary sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi from the seafloor? 2 Ama divers. Aha, so their lost and found services were being employed even back then, eh? And while they were diving, they came face to face with the vengeful spirits of the drowned Heike. Cersei, please, you're going to give me nightmares. At least that's what's depicted in the ukiyo-e, entitled "In the Western Sea, the diving women encountered the Heike in the depths of the water." Now that is a mouthful of a title. Such a deep connection, to think the Heike were even once depicted with Ama divers. They truly are a symbol of the Ise-Shima region. Yes, but the setting for that ukiyo-e is Dan-no-ura, which isn't anywhere near here. Still, it does go to show that Ama divers have held a deep connection to the sea for a very long time. And when we're talking about the Toba-Shima region, Ama divers are always going to be key players. True, if you ask me, they should be brought up before the pirates. Mind you, the Navy had a crucial role to play too. Okay. Everything from this, nothing more. Oh, cityscape. Over there you can see the city of Toba spread out along the coast. By the way, they tend to call this the Ise-Shima region. But most of the time the term includes Toba as well, something to keep in mind. So when I hear Ise-Shima, I should also think Toba, eh? Good to know. Okay. Although the term Ise-Shima is sometimes used to refer to part of the Nansei southern region of Mie Prefecture, the area covered by this term is not clearly defined, with it usually referring to the 2 major tourist destinations, Ise Shrine and Shima Peninsula and their surrounding areas. As the area referred to as Ise-Shima also includes Toba City, it is also sometimes referred to as the Ise-Toba-Shima area to avoid confusion. Oh, don't worry, I am confused enough as it is. We've come all this way to a distant foreign land seeking mermaids. Of course, I have my own reasons for trying to locate the mythical creatures, but for now I intend to scour this land in order to learn as much as I can about its lore and legends. Ah, but it occurs to me that I never actually explained the particulars of my Ise Bay mermaid excursion to the girl. No matter, it's nothing of consequence really, so I'll just introduce my reasons a bit at a time. Okay. He is currently in Japan seeking mermaid flesh, which is believed to grant immortality. His reason is simple: a fascination with the occult, a pursuit he feels is worthy of devoting his entire life to. Indeed, he is primarily driven by his pursuit of romantic ideals. If he finds something suitably inspiring, he will readily risk his life for it, and is willing to change his views just as quickly for the same. Avi's interest in the occult was born when he discovered his great-grandmother's vast collection of mysterious occult artifacts in the storage of his family home in America. Among them was a mermaid mummy, which yielded a mysterious map when taken apart, a discovery which captivated his imagination and led to his current quest. Here's. This great-grandmother happened to be a relative of the main Lunar Light family in England, albeit one who had chosen not to succeed the family estate. After discovering this through independent research into his lineage, Avi made contact with the Lunar Light family and continues to maintain a secret correspondence with them to this day. Huh, okay. Right, well, as fascinating as all of this has been, Cersei, I'd say it's high time we return to our primary topic of interest here. Oh, and what would that be? Personally, now that we visited Ise Shrine, I'm more or less satisfied. Tut. Cersei, you disappoint me. We didn't come here purely to chase legends, did we? Aww, and here I was hoping we could move on to buying souvenirs now. You know perfectly well that the true purpose of my voyage is nothing more or less than a treasure hunt. Right. Of course, I'm sure all this information we've been gathering will come in handy as well. First things first, let's head back to the inn. From there, we can plan our next move. Why are you looking at me? Okay. Okay, let's go. Treasure Hunt Part 1! After collecting information about mermaids and returning to their inn, Avi and Cersei have a meeting to plan for their true objective, treasure hunt. Okay. There has to be a bird sticker here. I can smell it. Now then, I believe it is time we discuss our strategy. Sure? What do you mean by strategy? It should be obvious. We must reflect on all we've learned if we want to move forward. Oh, okay. Sticker. Can smell it. Surroundings. This is the Murakumote. It's a small inn located in Toba. It's a laid-back inn that feels more like a private residence than a hotel thanks to the attentive staff. I could barely count all the different fresh fish we were served for dinner last night. I have not felt so full in a while. Okay. There has to be a sticker. Oh, flowers! Dried flowers. I suppose this is the embodiment of the Japanese concept wabi wabi, or however you say it. Okay. Window! Light is passing through the windows. It's hot outside, so I leave them closed. Okay. Briefcase. My bag. A faithful travel companion of several decades. Atmospheric lighting. Extra lights for the room. A lot of attention was paid to creating a comfy atmosphere for the guests. Ah, okay. Towel hanger? It may resemble an L-shaped dividing screen, but I think this is actually a towel rack. You're close. It's a small clothes rack. I see, so that's what it is. Yes, normally it's used to hang kimonos, but this one is quite small, so I suppose it work well for towels and other small garments. You're quite knowledgeable. She do be. The door to our room. Outside is a hallway with a restroom and wash basin for communal use. Guests place their shoes in the cabins at the entrance and wear slippers while inside the inn. Some of the notes I've taken, the information in them is not substantive and likely of no use. Okay. Is there no bird sticker here? I find it very unlikely. A hanging scroll perfectly complements the tatami room. This room may not have a dedicated alcove, but the scroll still really ties the room together. How lovely. What is this? Mosquito repellent. Oh. Each room is equipped with a mosquito trap. They tend to come in through the windows on hot days. It's a neat contraption. You just have to plug it in and place it, and it will kill any nearby mosquitoes. Traps like these are reliable, as well as easier and safer than the combustible type, so they've gotten quite popular. Okie dokes. Oh, telephone. So hidden. This phone can only be used to call the front desk. Oh, outside calls are impossible. Okay. This is a poster advertising the island of Kameshima. I'd love to pay a visit to a remote island like that. The name is intriguing too. Ah, Kame means turtle, doesn't it? Oh! I just can't shake this weird feeling. Huh? Why? Is there something wrong with the island? Or the poster? The poster, I believe. Do you mind if I take a closer look? Oh! My hunch was right. There is a presence here. A sticker. No way. Come on, don't scare me like that. There's a sticker behind the poster. Yes, remove it. Ready? Yes, please proceed. You sure? Because I'll do it. I really will. There's no telling what may happen. Quit stalling. Ah! Knew it. Knew it. I'm just too good. I'm just too good at this game. I'm just naturally skilled and talented. Don Heron. I knew it. I knew it. I could sense it. I love that. Okay. Oh, Is this the symbol that we found underwater? This map looks quite old. Exactly. It is also the precise reason I have come to Mia. To put it simply, this is no ordinary map. This is a mermaid treasure map. So if this is the same symbol, then that means we found treasure. I mean, it should be in that spot. No? Mermaid treasure map. Allow me to explain. I found this mermaid treasure map in the family storage. I should... Oh, okay. I thought he would talk while I click on it. Oh! Talk about the map. I found this map in the old family storage. It was left behind by my great-grandmother. If she's your great-grandmother, that would make her my great-grandmother's sister. I heard she was exiled from the Lunar Light family because of her eccentricities. That's correct. She was quite fond of the occult and amassed a number of suspicious cures over her lifetime. As a child, I loved searching for the storehouse that housed her collection. It was like a treasure hunt of wonders, a demon's tale, a yeti's bone, a book of black magic, Ogopogo's tooth, a piece of a UFO, a crystal skull. I cannot vouch that any of it was authentic, but it was still so exciting to look through. It's no exaggeration when I say that this very storehouse is what led me down the path of becoming a fantasy author. I suppose that's the kind of formative experience an occult writer needs. Just so, I have to thank my great-grandmother. She's the reason I can put food on the table. And among the items in that collection was this. I see, a mermaid mummy. Precisely. They were rather prevalent at sideshows and the like all over the world in the 19th century. Mermaid mummies from Japan were quite popular because of their high quality. A number of them even made their way to Europe. Huh. This one probably made its way to the family storage around that time. It was probably passed from one seller to another until it ended up in my great-grandmother's hands. How are you so sure it was made in Japan? Well, you see, I gave this mummy a thorough investigation. I even took it apart. Sure enough, it was made of wood and paper clay. But lo and behold, I also found this map inside. Truly? You found the map inside the mummy? Whoever made it all those years ago must have snuck the map inside. I doubt my great-grandmother had the slightest idea it was even in there. That's an incredible discovery. It is simply tantalizing, is it not? There is not a doubt in my mind that it will lead to a most thrilling discovery. Could we... Sketch of the mermaid mummy that I found. Bringing it along would have been out of the question, so I settled on just bringing a sketch. Oh, that's right. I still haven't told Cersei why I'm searching for mermaids. Okay. Business card? Oh, is this the business card from the guy we met earlier? It is. We managed to glean some surprisingly good information from that exchange. Hello? First things first, let's head back to the inn. From there we can plan our next move. Pardon me, but would the lovely lady and handsome gentleman be willing to spare me a moment? Why, yes. The gentleman does have some time. I suppose that makes me the lady then. Oh, it's you. You've been following us for quite some time. Huh? He has? For how long? Since the Issa Grand Shrine, I believe. Truly. Maybe you could try to keep me apprised of things like this in the future, Cersei. It appears I wasn't as stealthy as I thought. My apologies for the indiscretion. Who are you? But you see, the two of you piqued my interest. Foreigners in Issa Bay searching for mermaids. You overheard everything. How embarrassing. Avi, hollering won't lessen the embarrassment. But how rude of me. I ought to introduce myself. I'm an event planner here in Issa City. My name is Kipei Ikoma. Oh, a fancy business card and everything. What a charming fellow. Let's see. Sala planning, eh? And it says here you're the CEO? I'm actually the only employee, so the title doesn't mean much. I see. I apologize for the rudeness, but I actually just ran out of business cards of my own. Did you ever have any? I had heard you need to carry business cards in Japan if you want to avoid looking suspicious, but I still forgot to bring any. But the freewheeling and forgetful man before you goes by the name Arnav Barnum, a fantasy author who is merely passing through. Do you believe me, or am I too suspicious? Without a business card for proof, the verdict is yours alone to make. So you're an author, Mr. Barnum? Please call me Avi. This is Cersei. She has studied more Japanese history than even the average Japanese citizen. It's a pleasure. If you'd like, I can list the top 100 of his best features at any time. Quiz me. Aren't you a delight? I was right to take an interest in the two of you. Event Services Company CEO, Kipei Ikoma. Didn't we have a Kipei or something? 26. Director of Sala Planning, a venture company primarily focused on planning and producing tourism promotion events in Nisa City. An ambitious young man, Kipei is both highly driven and extraordinarily tenacious when it comes to fulfilling his goals. He is currently planning a PR project themed on mermaids as a sightseeing attraction. About 6 years ago, with the support of wealthy tycoon Yoshiatsu Yamashina, Kipei moved to Ise from the countryside with nothing but the clothes on his back and an eye to making his fortune. This aggressiveness won him Yamashina's favor, and after several years spent building up experience as his assistant, the tycoon granted Kipei an investment with which he started his current company. Although Yamashina could be said to be particularly strict with him, this is a reflection of the high expectations he has for his future. Kipei is often told that he looks old for his age, but as this means he is not taken lightly when doing business, he sees it as an advantage. Wasn't this guy that we found like the remains of also called like Ippei, or am I confusing now? Wait, let me check the files. Yeah, testimonies indicate the individual in the sketch resembles a youth by the name of Kipei Ikoma. Kipei Ikoma. What? And it was right that it was like 6 years ago. He disappeared. So he was 20 then. What is happening? What? Forgive me for my bluntness, but would you mind sparing me a few moments? I'd love to talk a little longer. I suppose that could be arranged? Huh. Curious. Cersei, are you hiding any more stickers? Oh. Guests of Wind grace this lovely observation deck. So this young man is actually a CEO, though I'm not sure if I'd call him young. His gaze has a piercing quality to it, and there is something off about his smile. Everything about him feels older than he looks. The truth is, I'm currently planning a promotional tourism campaign for the Isashima region. I was thinking of using mermaid legends as the counterpiece of the campaign. Mermaids, huh? I'm sure you're already quite aware of the mermaid legends of Isabei, yes? I thought we could hold events and exhibitions centered around such legends to attract tourists. I see, so that's why you were interested in mermaids. Additionally, the Isashima region is also famous for its pearls. I believe mermaids and pearls naturally complement one another. True. There is also the famous legend that a mermaid's tears turn into pearls when they are washed away by the ocean. Huh. Such a story would do wonders for driving tourism to the area. Does this project mean you are knowledgeable about mermaids in Ise then, Mr. Ikoma? I suppose it does. I know a fair bit. For example, there are some mermaid legends that most people have never heard of. Oh, do share. A long time ago, there was an island south of Kameshima known as Taishima. Have you heard of it? I'm afraid I haven't. It rings a bell. It was also called Taishima by some. That's absolutely right. It is said that once upon a time, 3 mermaids lived on Taishima. Wow, 3 of them. Tell me, were they human mermaids or fish mermaids? Human mermaids? Well, I suppose their upper bodies were human, so I suppose you could describe them as such. I see, then that would separate them from the 3 mermaids discovered in Betsuho during the Heian period. Oh, this is the first I've heard of this tale. However, Taishima sank about 400 years ago during a natural disaster. The mermaids seem to have vanished after that. What? That's such a shame. Regardless, it is said that the 3 mermaids were named Sobae, Nagame, and Hayase. So the mermaids were named too, huh? That definitely adds to the authenticity of the story. Authenticity. Pardon me, Mr. Ikoma. I never came across such concrete information. Where did you learn this? I don't blame you for questioning my sources. I also haven't managed to find any records of this tale. You see, the story was passed down through word of mouth. As it turns out, there was a single man who managed to escape the island's destruction. His descendants have kept the legend alive. Huh. So it's one of those descendants you heard the story from. That's right, they live a modest private life these days. When the story comes straight from a descendant like that, it does lend it some credibility. I would love to inquire deeper about these Taishima mermaids. If you don't mind, could you share the identity of this descendant you speak of? My apologies, but I'm afraid I cannot oblige. She's not the friendliest sort. Frankly, even I have trouble getting her to open up. No matter how many times I visit her, I always feel like I am only getting part of the story. I see, that's a real shame. Now, this may not be much consolation, but I have another interesting rumor from this descendant to share. Oh, I'm all ears. It concerns one of the rumored Taishima mermaids. It is said that a few decades ago, one of those mermaids turned human and now lives among us. No kidding. She became human? It does ring a bell, though. Why, that is exactly like the story of the Little Mermaid. What an exciting discovery. You say this was only a few decades ago. That makes it quite recent. This former mermaid could even be walking among the people here as we speak. If the story is true, then yes. However, I'll concede that even I find the story hard to believe. It is a little fantastical. I believe these oversized suits known as soft suits are currently quite popular in Japan. Perhaps he's trying to be taken seriously as a CEO. He certainly is putting a lot of effort into his appearance. By the way, may I ask why you're searching for Issa-based mermaids, Avi? No particular reason. I just thought it'd be fun to wander through some sightseeing areas related to mermaid folklore, that's all. I see. Well, since you've traveled all the way to Japan to sightsee, I'd love to ask you some questions. Was there anything missing from the areas you visited that you think might have made your trip more enjoyable? What about those photo spots you put your face in? Oh, I know those, I love them. Really? Are they that interesting? They're a Japanese tourism classic. It would be nice to see more of them. Agreed. If I saw one, I would certainly take a photo of it. Oh, and please sir, more of those little pennant flags. I can't resist them. I see. I truly appreciate the input, but perhaps things are fine as they are. What? Should you discover anything new regarding the area's mermaids, please let me know. Understood. We hope you'll do the same for us. Okay. What do you think? Amazing. A brand new mermaid legend. The real question is why? Why? There's a long history of people making up legends to drive tourism. Such stories linger on despite their veracity being entirely unverifiable. I suppose. Is something the matter? It's nothing. It's nothing. Well, it is about time for us to get going. Yes, of course. Thank you, and I apologize again for taking so much of your time. Actually, since you've come all the way to Japan, if anything happens to you during your vacation here or you need any other help at all, please feel free to give me a call. I am quite familiar with all sorts of businesses in the area. For example, I could put you in touch with someone should you be looking to interview AMA divers. Oh really? That's very kind. You're not just saying it as a formality, are you? A free-spirited lad like myself will not hesitate to take you up on an offer like this. I will call you. Please, do not hold back. I'll leave you two to your sightseeing. Please have a good time. Okay. If mermaids really did live on Taishima, it's certainly worth investigating. Ashtray. The porcelain ashtray that came with the room. Ashtrays like these are found just about anywhere, so one can smoke without any worries. That being said, I've noticed people outside still simply dropping their cigarettes onto the ground. Well, I wasn't a smoker to begin with. Okay, let's talk about the map again. So then why did you call this a mermaid's treasure map? Well, it was hidden inside the mermaid mummy, so it follows it must be a treasure map of sorts, no? I see. Your enthusiasm has carried you quite a ways from home. I'm impressed. Thank you. I have no doubt our treasure lies somewhere in Issa Bay. What a shame there is no X to mark the spot. Indeed, and this leads us to our first conundrum. Any ideas how to decipher this map, Cersei? Put me on the spot, why don't you? But it does look like something is written here. Do you know what it says? Oh, that part. I actually did some research on that. apparently it says search the 95th. Search the 95th? That sure makes it sound like it leads to a secret location of some sort. Yes, and it must be related to mermaids. Aren't you just itching to find it? You know it. I knew it. I'm counting on you to help me solve the map's riddle. 95th? Oh wait, I just remembered. You said you can douse, no? Can't you just douse for the treasure? Then we can skip this whole map and riddle business altogether. I apologize, but that's impossible. Truly, but why? Dowsing is usually used to find waterways, veins of ore, and other such things. My dowsing, however, can be used to find people and objects imbued with spiritual power. However, I must be familiar with the spiritual power that I'm looking for. I see. In other words, you wouldn't be able to find a treasure you've never seen or heard of. Yes, the distance from which I can detect the source also depends on how strong the spiritual power is. It's not quite the superpower I thought it was. I say we've had enough of diversion. Let's get back to investigating your map. Thinking that search the 95th. I wonder if this has something to do with this clue, search the 95th? Because we only have like a few of these episodes written here, so it would be quite a coincidence that there's a 95th, episode 95. But there's no like location other than the sky. Curious. I say we've had enough of diversion. Okay, let's back to investigating. Ah, okay. Let's take a good look. Oh? What? Is there something on the other side? Did you notice something? It looks like something's written on the other side. I see, I knew I must have missed something. Did you not turn the page over? Seriously? I should carefully hold the edge when I want to look at the other side. What? Okay, first, symbol. Seriously, do you recognize the symbol on the lower right? It appears quite similar to Sanskrit. However, I don't recall a character quite like this one. It may be a mark unique to the cartographer, like a signature. If that's the case, it's irrelevant to our investigation. I agree, though my opinion will change should we come across the symbol elsewhere. I'm gonna need to dive again, see that symbol, if it's the same one. If something's there. The phrase search the 95th is written on the map around the location of Issa province. It would fit, right? Tales of Issa, the 95th episode. It's a map of Issa Bay. Judging from its condition, it is quite old. If I were to guess, I would say it is over 100 years old. No, perhaps even more than 200 years old. I wonder how old it really is. Look closer. Isn't that Taishima? You're right, it depicts an island to the south of Kameshima. Oh, you mean this little dot? It's safe to assume this map was made before Taishima sank then. That makes it over 400 years old, and made during the Sengoku period. Incredible. Okay. Oh, is that the sky? Is that the summer triangle? Take a close look at all the spots on the back of the map. Oh, those! I dismissed them as a bunch of stains. Do you really think that's all they are? Something about those spots feels familiar. Yeah, I know. Eureka? Eureka! Inspiration strikes! I figure it out. It's a bit hard to see what you mean when looking at the back of the map. Can you point it at the front? Ah, you make a fair point. I may be less inspiration struck than I first assumed. I have to think on this a bit more. Okay, wait, so it's spot here, here, and here. Now we need to freaking draw it. Okay, inspiration strikes. Did you? Where is the treasure? I have no doubts, it is here. More definite location. Okay, wait. It's like somewhere here, but it's not exactly... Somewhere here. And somewhere here. And if it is the summer triangle... Yeah, so these are the names of the stars, right? Where's the screen separating them to the Milky Way? Moved by his words, the woman removes the screen. Because this was them, right? I think. Wait, let me... Yeah, so these are them. So this will be Deneb. So would this be the treasure? Like between them? The romantic imagery of the star-crossed lovers separated by Milky Way. Yeah, I think so. So it's gonna be this one, no? Now, how precise do I have to be? Shine some light. I don't... I believe I've noticed something about the map. Would you like me to share my discovery? You have? Tell me? Well, if you are so desperate to flaunt your wit, I suppose I could let you help me a bit. Let's start by thinking about what's written on the map. Remember how the 95th is written atop Ise province? Do you recall a conversation we had yesterday? There was something related to Ise that had more than 95 parts. Yes, I know, the tales. Give your files another look. I'm not struggling. To be frank, I didn't just come here to solve the map's riddle. My real goal is to find an actual mermaid. Oh yes, I had a feeling that was it. So you already knew. Exorcists sure have some keen instincts. What will you do if you find a mermaid? Do you want to become immortal? I suppose. Might as well, considering all the trouble finding one will be. Everything is unexpectedly uninspired. Simple though it may be, I find the idea quite romantic, akin to ascending to a new stage of humanity. Sure, I guess. I take it you disagree with my thinking, Cersei. I fail to see why my opinion should matter here. What you do is your decision to make. Though I'm not certain that an immortal can still be called human. Still, your decision is irrelevant to my duty, so I will not try to interfere. Actually, meeting an immortal would be a rare once-in-a-lifetime chance. Please transcend humanity and let me examine you. I'd prefer if you didn't speak of me like a research specimen, but I'll overlook it for now. Though I do wonder if immortality would actually bring you any happiness. When you look at old folktales, it tends to be less of a blessing and more of a curse. Jeez, don't say that after I already made up my mind and everything. Well, I'm sure you'll be alright. If you tire of immortality, you need only embark on a journey like a modern-day Yao Bikuni. This is one way to look at it, though I think the nun part might be an issue. Well, I shouldn't get too far ahead of myself. There's no immortality to be had till I find mermaid flesh to bite into. So let's start there. Understood. I'm also quite interested in finding mermaid myself. 95th Tale of the Tales of Ise is the story of Hikoboshi. Recall that Altair is also called Hikoboshi. Didn't think of the place where Altair... Okay, so it's about... I suggest you think of a way to make the constellation shine through from the back to the front. Oh, I didn't know I can move. Oh my god. Okay, and he was... Altair Hikoboshi, so he's this one... So this one. Oh, and what makes you say so? Why, it is simple. This very spot marks the answer to our riddle. Should I write Altair or... Allow me to explain. You see, the 95th in the riddle must refer to the 95th tale in the Tales of Ise. And the title of the tale is none other than Hikoboshi. Next, note how the summer triangle constellation is drawn on the back. Then the location of Hikoboshi, or Altair, corresponds to this very spot on the map. You sure did. Don't let me take that away from you. Gah. Failed. What? Even if we were to search the area on the map, it's in the middle of the sea. How are we supposed to search a place like that? Looking for an unknown object somewhere on a large swath of seafloor seems like an impossible task. Not for an AMA diver. You're right, that does sound difficult. We might have to ask our friendly CEO for help. He did give us his card. However, wouldn't that mean we'd have to inform him of the map? No other way about it. In addition, should we find anything, I imagine he'll expect a share of the spoils. I really wanted to keep it all to myself. Sharing is the worst. I understand, but we have no other options. It's a shame, but I suppose you're right. We should contact him as soon as we can. Oh, let's take a look at these. Nice. Okay, well, we're going to talk to the mysterious CEO who should be dead in the next episode. So, thank you for joining me. See you in the next one. Bye bye.